And here at General Motors Place, we welcome the entire network now, including those of you who are watching, those who hurry hard. Some curling going on today, and now Sharif Abdur-Rahim and the Grizzlies want to hurry hard back into the win column. It has been 11 losses in a row, another long losing streak up against Grant Hill and the Detroit Pistons. Hill having a career year along with Jerry Stackhouse. And the Pistons have also undergone a coaching change with George Irvin taking over for Alvin Gentry. There are our officials today, and we are set. Grizzlies trying to end the skid. Bryant Reeves returning to the lineup for the third game. He has been pretty impressive this week, but they are going to have to be awfully impressive against the Pistons. Rod Black, Leo Routens, and Norma Wick with you. Pistons control first. Christian Laettner. Off to the point guard, Lindsey Hunter. Grant Hill watched by Sharif. Hill from the elbow. Got it.
That's one of the areas Grant Hill's really been focusing on this season, Rod, improving that perimeter shot, which teams like to give him, as opposed to allowing him to penetrate to the bucket.
We got some great matchups, including that one. Lindsey Hunter pickpocketing Mike Bibby. Stackhouse, the flush, and it's 4-0 quickly, Detroit.
Vancouver has to take care of the basketball, Rod. Had a season-high 28 turnovers, and there's another one against Phoenix the other night, and 23 turnovers the last time these two teams met.
Lindsey Hunter out of bounds, and so Vancouver will take the ball. A little shell shock to open this game. Let's check our IBM advanced scout to the game.
Rod, very important for the Vancouver Grizzlies to attack the rim. Lack of a center for Detroit. Transition defense. You can see the Pistons getting out on the break. 109 points a game their last 6, and handle the perimeter pressure. As we've just seen, Detroit can really get out and play the lanes. They're very athletic on the perimeter.
And even full court pressure. Michael Dickerson strong, soaring to the hoop. And he cuts into the lead.
Michael Dickerson continues to play good basketball for Vancouver. Not only a shooter, but a penetrator and a guy that can break people down with the dribble.
Detroit coming out firing and putting the full court press on the Grizzlies. And there's a shooter too at 6'10". He can bury it. Terry Mills.
Well, at 6'10", since he's become the center for Detroit, Rod originally was 6'9", but you can see the big man shooting 3-pointers in the corner.
Mike Bibby, Lindsey Hunter. The pick coming from Bryant Reeves. Bibby goes the other way. Bibby loses it again. Mills on the run. Numbers with the Pistons. Stackhouse behind the back to the guys on his bench. Kept in play, though, and here comes Vancouver again. 7-2 Detroit, thanks to the three-pointer from Terry Mills. Lots of pressure from the Pistons. Dickerson trying to dribble out of trouble. There's Bryant Reeves getting his hands on the ball. Takes it, falls away, in and out.
That's a good shot for Big Country. He's got to take that shot and assert himself in the middle.
Mills again brings Country out. Can't get the three-pointer.
Mills' eyes are very wide right now, Rod. He sees Big Country. Country does not want to come out in the perimeter and play him out there. He's going to continue to take that shot.
Country wants the ball, doesn't get it. Dickerson had the open three, decided to penetrate. There's Reeves, baseline, flat shot. A fella Harrington underneath, and he'll bring it back out and reset this half-court offense. Bibby, one-handed runner. I don't know how that went in, but it did.
Nice soft shot getting it to the rim, but you see the offensive rebounds and second chance points can become a big factor for Vancouver in this game.
Double team comes on Grant Hill as it normally will. Stackhouse, Mills, good ball movement from the Pistons. Rebound to Harrington.
Rod, very important for Vancouver just to be patient. Good execution offensively. Move the basketball. Have an inside-outside game. Don't try to play in that quick pace that Detroit wants to try to establish.
And a foul, a loose ball foul. They're saying it is against a fella Harrington. Christian Laettner ending up on the floor.
Christian Laettner applying good ball pressure outside. He's been playing very good basketball, especially as of late since George Irvin took over. You can see the pressure in the push-off by a fella Harrington, but Christian Laettner, 3 consecutive double-doubles in points and rebounds, and really looking the best I've seen him play since he had that terrible Achilles injury a year and a half ago.
Something about March, though. Christian Laettner does a lot of this, and maybe it goes back to his college days when he hit so many big baskets for the Duke Blue Devils.
He had as good a run as any college player in the history of the NCAA during his time at Duke.
Reeves posting up Mills. Strong to the basket. Big Country, Bryant Reeves.
That's a strong move, Big Country. Again, there's no big man, a legitimate big man in the middle for Detroit. Big Country has to have confidence to know he can operate.
Hill underneath, Sharif fouling him, and Grant Hill will go to the line and shoot 2.
Get a look at Big Country once again against Terry Mills. Remember, Terry Mills is not a true center. Good move to the right hand, which Country favors. If you're playing against Big Country, you want to try to take that away, force him to his left hand, Rod. But it's amazing, the more games you watch, he's still able to continue to go right.
For those of you who were watching the final moments of the curling and weren't with us at the top of the show, we talked about Grant Hill and Jerry Stackhouse. Hill's numbers up, having a career year, maybe thanks to Stackhouse. The two of them together combined for almost half of the Pistons' points, and the Pistons score as many points as anybody in the game. In fact, they are second in the NBA with over 104 points per game. Harrington inside to Country, and Bryant Reeves off to a roaring start.
That's a good job by Harrington, and look at this comeback, although Grant Hill not able to get it to stay down.
Reeves grabbing the rebound, numbers with Vancouver. Abdur-Rahim, open shot, Dickerson, 3-ball, good.
That's a two-pointer right there. His foot was on the line, but good job by Vancouver. You see that little confidence right now. You had Harrington look inside the Big Country. Now you get the perimeter game going as well. You mix it up, and you can pose a lot of problems for Detroit.
Vancouver pulls within one. It was a two-pointer for Dickerson. Hunter in the air gives it off to Leitner. Wanted to take the shot. There's Christian Leitner. We've seen that shot from that area before, but it couldn't go.
Christian Leitner's really given up a lot of his offense to get everybody else involved. He's been more of a role player with Detroit than he has earlier in his career with other teams.
That is a big basket. Michael Dickerson nailing it. That's a three-pointer. 13-11 now, Vancouver. Dickerson with 7.
Michael Dickerson is more than capable of exploding for a 30-point game.
Lindsey Hunter had Bryant Reeves sidestepping. Couldn't make the basket, comes back, and then nails the shot from the corner.
Rod, there's not a lot of deep three-point threats for Detroit. Lindsey Hunter is one of them. You have to come up and try to take his shot away, but you have to close out under control, because he's very good at putting that ball on the floor, and he'll go to the basket.
And he just fouled Mike Bibby, so when we come back, the Grizzlies will have the ball, and they're down by 1. Michael Dickerson with 7. Big three-pointer here in Vancouver.
CTV Sports presentation of the NBA on CTV, sponsored by Ford. For now, forever.
11 long games. Everybody wondering why the Grizzlies just can't get it together, including one of the best players in the game.
And you know, it kind of baffles me. I don't know why that, you know, they're not better than what they are. Of course, I know they're in the West and they play a lot of good teams, but they have some good players. You know, Sharif is, everyone, you know, if you haven't known about him, if you didn't know about him, you know about him now. He's a great player. Probably doesn't get the credit he deserves. I really like Dickerson. You know, he's really impressive. He's played well last year in Houston. And Mike Bibby, you know, he's really stepped up from last season. He's playing great basketball. Harrington's really played well. I mean, they got some good young players, and I know it takes time, but I've been somewhat baffled as to why they haven't been playing better. And
Rod, Lionel Hollins has asked his team to seize the moment, to show your mettle. If you can't let things go at the end of the season, regardless of the situation, he says you got to ask yourself and say, hey, this is how I am, this is how I play, regardless of my situation and my team's situation. Lionel just wants his guys to go and play hard every night. What happens after that happens, but you have to compete.
Well, they better not just seize the moment. They have to seize the basketball. They have been giving it up a lot. 28 Friday night. They've given it up 5 times today. This time the Pistons turn it over. Abdur-Rahim, Dickerson lay-in. 9 points now for Michael Dickerson. Grizzlies up 15-14.
Well, it's good to see the defense there by Abdur-Rahim. The Grizzlies have allowed their opponents to shoot 50% during the month of March and 52% over the last 7 games. So you really got to tighten things up defensively. The Grizzlies show them they can score.
And this guy has shown already Lindsey Hunter with another three-pointer. It's a 2-point lead by the Pistons now. We have just under 6 minutes to go in the opening quarter here at GM Place.
You have a contrast of point guards on the floor. Lindsey Hunter looks for a shot and looks to score. Bibby thinks pass first, Rod.
Abdur-Rahim has not taken a shot yet, but then again his teammates are finding the bullseye. Mike Bibby for three.
And see, that's the right shot to take. Even though Bibby looks to set up his teammates, he has to take that shot when it's there. Good job of Abdur-Rahim to find the open man.
Sharif does have 4 assists and a rebound. Terry Mills launches, no. Sharif with 5 rebounds now, 4 assists rather, and 2 rebounds, and still hasn't taken a shot. Fella Harrington. Thrown away by Bibby as Abdur-Rahim was cutting across.
And you can't panic in a situation like that. Lindsey Hunter on Abdur-Rahim in the post. He can't defend Sharif in that low post position. It's very important for Bibby to take his time and allow Abdur-Rahim to establish his position. Don't rush the pass.
Lindsey Hunter. Good crossover, gives it off to Hill. Grant Hill rattles the rim. Mike Bibby has turned the ball over already 5 times so far in this game. The Grizzlies with 6 turnovers. And again, Friday night in a loss against Phoenix, they turned the ball over 28 times.
Well, the worst part of that, Rod, they gave up 25 points off of those 28 turnovers.
Grizzlies fortunate to hang on to the basketball there, and Bibby nails another 3. So he's given the ball away, but he's come back with a couple of big 3-pointers, and now he has 8.
Well, fortunately, on those turnovers in this game so far, the Detroit Pistons haven't capitalized and really taken that ball and scored. Secondly, Vancouver not giving second shot opportunities to Detroit. The misses are rebounds and opportunities for Vancouver.
Hunter blows by Bibby on the left side. The shot doesn't go. Bibby to Dickerson on the wing. The Arizona Wildcats can't combine that time.
Dickerson does such a great job of just running the floor and getting out there to establish his position wherever he wants to be in the court in transition.
Stackhouse.
You have to make your adjustments on those long shots. Good job by Leighton and Rod. 1, the long rebound, and 2, finding Stackhouse making his slash into the lane.
Well, Lionel Hollins before the game, and even Grant Long, the veteran, talked about defense. That's what the Grizzlies really have to work on. They score a lot of points, and you saw there, they kind of watched, sat around. Ball came back to the Pistons as Abdur-Rahim nails the field goal, his first of the game. But they were sat and watched as the Pistons took it to the rack.
Well, to complement what you're saying, Vancouver really doesn't have a problem scoring. They got a lot of weapons. They can move the basketball, and they can put the ball in the bucket. But you don't want to waste your opportunities by turning it over. And again, you have to stop people. You can't let them score whenever they want.
Timeout on the floor. Grizzlies up by 4. High scorer so far in this game, Michael Dickerson for the Grizzlies with 9 points.
Well, Michael Dickerson really came into his own under Lionel Hollins. The month of February, he was spectacular, averaging around 22 points a game, playing as well as any 2 guard in the league. March has been a little different. His average is down about 14 points a game. The reasons for that are simply teams really focusing on him now. Abdur-Rahim's numbers are down a little bit. They're going at him. They're trying to attack him, also wearing down physically.
Let's get a word now from Norma Wick.
Thanks, Rod. Well, things are going very well for Lionel Hollins right now. He told me before the game there were 3 concerns. One, that we throw the ball to our team, and the turnovers so far, as you say, although there have been quite a few, haven't hurt them so bad. The other thing was controlling the boards. They've out-rebounded Detroit 8-3 and given up only 1 offensive rebound. The other thing was, he said, we have to make shots to start the game. And certainly Mike Dickerson, if you've just shown, has played a huge part in getting the Grizzlies off to a fast start.
Rod, always good advice from the coach to tell your players, throw the ball to your own team. I've always thought that was a positive thing to say.
Very important to the game of basketball. And sometimes they need to be reinforced, particularly when you give it up 28 times. Michael Curry in the game number 12.
And avoid throwing it to the fans as well. I mean, throw it to your own teammates, not the opposing team, and avoid the fans.
Another guy in the game, talk about a utility man, John Karate. He can really get under your skin.
He can. He doesn't have a pretty game, but more often than not, when he comes into the game off the bench for Detroit, good things happen. He's a solid backup, can hit the open shots, and gets the ball to the right people, settles the team down.
Dennis Scott into the game for Vancouver. You know what he can do? Launch it from beyond the arc. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Grizzlies are going to have to let this go. 3 on the shot. Abdur-Rahim with his second field goal. 4 points for Sharif, building a 6-point lead.
Now, even though Abdur-Rahim made that shot, Rod, it looks flatter than normal, which tells you fatigue could be a factor this late in the season.
Mickey Moore.
Oh, he's played some good basketball, Rod. He throws up shots. They're waiting for his percentage to come down. Led the CBA in field goal percentage. He can really shoot the basketball, and he's played very, very well. Had a cup of coffee with Detroit last season and said, hang in there, we're going to bring you back. And lately, he's been a good live body for him.
Great dribbling by Bibby off to Harrington, the lay-in. And again, Vancouver maintaining a 6-point advantage, 27-21, with 2 minutes to go here in the first period.
And really, Vancouver having no trouble scoring whatsoever.
Crotty. Inside, the Grizzlies take it away again. Dickerson, no basket.
That was a great catch by Dickerson, even though that play wouldn't have counted with the foul there on Michael Bibby getting knocked to the ground. Dickerson just runs the floor and able to catch the ball like a wide receiver. As you see, John Crotty, a little too much contact, but Dickerson just flies up and down the court as fast as anybody up and down the floor.
Bibby working off a pick from Dennis Scott. Corner Dickerson again, and he hit it again. Another three-pointer from Michael Dickerson. 12 points in the first quarter.
Jerry Stackhouse better get a little closer to Michael Dickerson. He's in the groove right now. You got to make him do something different than catch and shoot.
Curry strong to the hoop. Good defense from the Grizzlies. Dickerson on the run. Abdur-Rahim the flush.
Excellent job. A little defense, getting out on the break. Everybody throwing the lanes. Abdur-Rahim, again, another one of these players that can really run the floor. That's why Vancouver can be such a potent offensive team, because they have players that can get up and down the floor.
Here is a team so far looking very intent upon ending this long losing drought. 32-21. Pistons slowing it down. Shot clock to 2. Mikey Moore corner. Got it. A rainbow shot.
And that's that jump shot. It doesn't necessarily look all that pretty. Almost looks a little soft leaving his hand, but it still gets to the bucket. And again, his percentages have been tremendous.
Boy, does he have a scowl on his face when he comes back down the floor. Mikey Moore was one of the rags to riches stories in the NBA. Abdur-Rahim, Harrington again. And so the Grizzlies dishing the basketball at will.
Well, the Grizzlies doing a good job of penetrating, hitting the open shots. They're moving. They're sharing the basketball. And I think that's what happens if you start losing a few games, Rod. You don't move the basketball. You try to do too many things by yourself. Right now, the sharing is paying dividends.
Mikey Moore, the foul, away from the ball. So with 24.5 seconds left in the first quarter, Grizzlies will try to work it down for the final shot. 34-23 Vancouver. Crotty watching Bibby very closely. Lionel Holland shutting some instructions to his point guard. 8 on the shot. 7 seconds in the quarter. In and out, but Harrington underneath.
A great position on the offensive glass. Harrington is just moving Mikey Moore out with his body and putting it back up.
2 seconds. Stackhouse won't get it away in time. What an outstanding start for a team that has been sputtering of late. The Vancouver Grizzlies start slowly, but then come out blazing. Michael Dickerson, 12 points, 36-23, Leo.
Vancouver doing a good job, one at the defensive end, and then really pushing the ball up, trying to create the tempo that they want to play, Rod, and right now, they're on a roll.
You're watching the NBA on CTV. Second quarter is next. The Grizzlies pour in the points in the first quarter against one of the highest scoring teams in the NBA, and there is one of the Grizzlies' biggest fans, Sarah McLaughlin, along with her husband, courtside. Here today, General Motors Place. I love her music. Grammy and Juno Award winner. And she is a huge Grizzly supporter.
And the Grizzly fans really enjoying, gave a rousing round of applause to the team as they came to the bench. Everybody really enjoying the effort, getting out on a break. And look at the numbers, Rod. Grizzlies shooting 80%, wow. 13 assists for Vancouver on 16 field goals. Man, that's tremendous. They're sharing the basketball, and they're also doing a job on the glass. 9-3 edge there.
Abdur-Rahim, 6 points in the first quarter. Michael Dickerson, the hot hand. Mike Bibby, a couple of threes. Look at the ball movement from Vancouver, but they lost it there. On the floor, here come the Pistons.
That's a tough break there for Abdur-Rahim. Good spacing on the floor for Vancouver, and good defense again.
Bibby, Abdur-Rahim over Grant Hill. (38-23). One thing Vancouver must be very aware of is this guy, because Grant Hill also led the assault against Vancouver in the second quarter in their previous meeting.
That's right. Detroit had a 17-1 run against the Grizzlies in their first meeting at the Palace in Detroit. This game, however, a little different scenario. Detroit started out 11-6, but then it's been 32-12 for Vancouver, so they're doing a good job so far in this game.
Shot clock coming to 4. Huge block by Mikey Moore. And another block by Grant Hill. They can't get the shot off in time. Good defense that time from the Pistons. They collapsed on the penetrating Grizzlies.
And the Pistons are a very athletic team. You got Mikey Moore, Jerome Williams on the floor right now, Grant Hill, Michael Curry. These guys are very athletic. They have some length in them, again, with Moore and Grant Hill, so you have to be careful with the basketball.
Lionel Hollins will go to his bench in a moment and bring Felipe Lopez into the game. Also known for his high energy. Mikey Moore posting up Dennis Scott. A little bit of a mismatch here, and Moore capitalizes.
You have to be thrilled if you're George Irvin with the effort you're getting from Moore. Hitting the shots, getting into the bucket with his post-ups, and defensively creates problems because, again, he's a live body that can react quickly around the hoop.
Harrington trying the reverse on Moore. No, doesn't get the roll. Grizzlies fighting for it. There's Sharif, and he now has 10.
Excellent job of Abdur-Rahim staying under the bucket. Othello Harrington started the war, getting inside, keeping that ball alive, and that's the important thing to remember, Rod. On the offensive glass, you don't always get your hands on it, but you can keep it alive. Unfortunately, Abdur-Rahim able to get his hands on it because of the work Othello Harrington did under the glass.
First time the Grizzlies go to the line today. Abdur-Rahim, look at the numbers. Working potentially on a triple-double today, if he can keep this up. And he buries the free throw to make it a three-point play after the foul by Mikey Moore.
Rod, aside from the losing streak for Vancouver, in the games the Grizzlies win, Abdur-Rahim does have good all-around numbers because he gets his teammates involved and he also does good work on the glass. He has to look to do that in this game.
Pistons now throwing the ball around. Sean Crotty. Jerome Williams, the junkyard dog, into the game, and this is why they call him that. Look at the hustle underneath.
He's one of my favorite players in the league. He played his college ball in Georgetown, and he just goes after every loose ball, every rebound, anything to get his hands on.
Dickerson watching Curry. Again, good D from the Grizzlies. Crotty, left side. Unorthodox move, but Jerome Williams is there, and he will go to the line.
You have to make sure of one thing. If there's one body you have to find to block out, and that is Jerome Williams. Regardless of what the situation is, Rod, find him and block him out.
But the Grizzlies still with the lead, 41-25 at GM Place.
CTV Sports presentation of the NBA on CTV, sponsored by Nike, proud supporters of Canada basketball.
It has been a tough season for the Vancouver Grizzlies. A couple of long losing skids. Coaching change. Brian Hill fired. Lionel Hollins taking over. Bryant Reeves with the knee problems and trying to show these fans and supporters in Vancouver that he is worth every cent of the $66 million that they are going to be paying him over the next few years.
Well, it's been a struggle for Big Country because of the injuries, Rod. He actually came in better shape this season after what happened last year, just not being ready to play and being overweight. But the constant injuries that keep hitting him, every time he gets going, he gets in a groove, the injuries come and it sets him back, and it always takes him 5 or 6 games to get back in the groove again, and that's what's been the problem. The team adjusts to playing without him, then they have to adjust to playing with him, and it takes him a while to be the player that he can be.
Jerome Williams at the line, fouled before we went to break. Look at the number on him that's significant, taken way down in the 1996 draft. Safe to say there's probably a few teams that would have taken him a little higher had they known what he would have become.
And I don't know how you didn't know that, simply because watching him play for John Thompson at Georgetown back then, I just loved the way he played and attacked the boards.
Dennis Scott on the feed from Grant Long. Long, the veteran, into the game, so Dennis Scott continues to build the lead for the Grizzlies, 43-27.
I talked to Dennis Scott before the game, and he said, hey, you know what? I'm feeling good. I don't care what's happening with the team right now. I'm ready to go because my body's finally getting back in shape. And there's a guy we talked about just a little while ago, Jerome Williams, not just a rebounder, Rod, but a good player around the basket. And there's something he does that a lot of people don't realize, as Big Country picked up that foul, is that Jerome Williams, what he can do is handle the basketball in transition. He'll take that ball off the glass and get it up in the middle of the floor and find his teammates. Actually wanted to be a guard early on in his career.
Interesting this year for Jerome Williams. If he tries to make it the three-point play and Lopez brings it down, as he and his father have been waging quite a betting war away from the court. We'll tell you more about that in the stoppage. It's been interesting because it has helped fuel Jerome Williams.
I don't know how incentive for him doesn't seem to be a problem, Rod. He laces up the sneakers and he's ready to go.
Reeves spinning, draining it.
You can see Big Country seeing Eric Montross saying, you know what? I can take this guy. I think I'm quicker than him.
Montross gives it off to Williams again, taking it right to the basket. And so far, Jerome Williams coming off the bench quickly has 6 points.
He's just so aggressive, even on his offensive moves. He will come right at you, put his elbows right towards your chin, force you to get on your heels and back off.
14-point Vancouver lead. Lopez to Grant Long, who is the cousin of Detroit's Terry Mills. Dennis Scott, three ball, in and out. Montross bringing it down. Curry waits for Grant Hill. So far, Hill only with 4 points, make it 6.
That's a tough matchup there for Dickerson, as we see Grant Hill in the post position, able to turn and get to the bucket right away using his size.
Under 8 minutes to go before halftime. Very quick pace to this game today. Dickerson off the front rim. Grant Long the rebound. Work it back out and set up the play. Mike Bibby will return to the game in a moment, so will Lindsey Hunter. Lopez calling the play, gives it off to Dickerson. And a foul, Michael Curry.
Now, Michael Curry is a good defensive player. You talk about a utility man. That's his role with Detroit, coming in and doing whatever it takes, whether it be guarding a guard or a forward. But Michael Dickerson did the right thing. He does have a quickness advantage, and you got to look to try to penetrate against Curry.
So Bibby comes back in. Matchup with Lindsey Hunter, both players into the game. Lopez, who hails from the Dominican Republic. First NBAer to come from the Dominican, and stolen as Brian Reeves put it on the floor. Curry to Hill, waits. Williams, and there is the junkyard dog.
And you can't forget about him, Rod. How could Jerome Williams come down late, get that, be the trailer, and pick up that rebound? The Grizzlies have to get back, realizing that he's relentless. He's not going to give up. He doesn't care if it looks like it's going to be an easy basket. He'll trail the play anyway.
16-point lead has been whittled to 10. Knocked out of bounds. It will be Detroit basketball. Jerome Williams doing the job off the bench. He now has 8 points. An 8-2 run by Detroit. Coming right back into the ball game. They trail by 10. It's 45-35, 6:41 left in the first half. Down the dial on Sportsnet this week, we've got regional basketball. Grizzlies against the Golden State Warriors Tuesday, and in Toronto, the Raptors, who, by the way, lead the Houston Rockets 52-40 today in Toronto, will play against the New Jersey Nets. That's on CTV Sportsnet. Check your listings.
Rod, keep an eye on this defense. Felipe Lopez is going away right here, and Michael Curry's going to trail. But he also knows the Big Country wants to come this way, and he's not going to be aware of his defense from behind. Watch how this play develops. Curry stops and says, hey, I'm coming right back, and I got myself a steal right here. Big Country can't take that much time in the post.
45-35. Vancouver. Hunter off to Leitner. Grant Hill stops. That shot was off, and here comes Vancouver again. Grant Long puts it on the floor, driving past Leitner. the foul to Christian Laettner. Grant Long will go to the line. Let's join Norma Wick.
Thanks, Rod. Well, in that last time out, Lionel was concerned about the rebounds. They have been controlling the boards, but he said, hey, you guys, they're starting to whip us on the boards. He said they're just whipping us on the defensive end. And he said, no, check that. I shouldn't say that. He said, one guy is whipping us, and that is the Junkyard Dog. So he wants them to pay more attention to this guy, maybe start blocking him out, get him off the board so they can keep running.
3 rebounds, Norma, for Jerome Williams so far to go with the 8 points as Grant Long buries the first of his free throws.
Well, it's a good point by Lionel Hollins. Really, the advantage is to Vancouver, 17-7 on the glass. But again, Jerome Williams, the one guy coming in and making an impact with 3 quick rebounds. And getting a little bit of a break. I don't know if I'm George Irvin. I think I'd keep him out there a little bit longer.
Certainly a candidate for 6th man of the year. Grant Hill, what a move by Grant Hill.
He is so explosive going to the bucket. That's why you have to take the lesser of 2 evils. Even though his jump shot has improved, you want to contain, stay between him and the basket, and force him to be a jump shooter. You can't allow him to get to the bucket.
I was just about to say he's been very quiet. No longer. Brian Reeves dunking the other way on the feed from Sharif. That is now 6 assists for Abdur-Rahim.
Yeah, great job of being aware of his teammate and finding the open man.
Laettner, 18-footer, no problem.
Christian Laettner, Rod, just playing with so much confidence, feeling good about his game. 4 points, and he's expanding his role. I mentioned he's less of an offensive player as he has been in the past, but still able to hit those shots when they need them.
Still a 10-point game. Brian Reeves traveled. And here comes the Junkyard Dog. Jerome Williams did not go out of this game for very long for George Irvin.
You really can't leave him on the bench for too long just because of the hustle that he does give you. And if you want to get some good points in the books of your coach, if you want to play for Lionel Hollins, keep Jerome Williams off the glass. Your effort will be noticed.
Stackhouse. He has been quiet. Only 4 from Stackhouse. Laettner stopping and nailing it again. Rattles it in.
Whoever Big Country is playing, they're taking him out on the perimeter. Remember, there's really not a post-up center on this Detroit team, and they're taking a shot, daring Big Country to come out there.
Grant Long, strong move to the basket. And once again, it's a 10-point game, 51-41. Stackhouse. Felipe Lopez fouled Jerry Stackhouse.
Well, Felipe Lopez is an excellent defender. He can really play aggressively. Maybe a little down right now as St. John's Red Storm lost to Gonzaga yesterday. A big win for the Zags.
And notice how you didn't even say anything about Syracuse, at least not yet.
I'm not one to step up and boast, but the Orangemen did beat the Kentucky Wildcats yesterday.
There have been a few upsets. Michael Dickerson and Mike Bibby, of course, played in Arizona 3 years ago when they won the NCAA title, and Arizona now out.
Yeah, Wisconsin, coached by Dick Bennett, a great defensive team, really stepping up with their man-to-man defense and motion offense, taking Arizona right out of the tournament.
Love March Madness. Jerome Williams, charging foul. Vancouver basketball. Speaking of March Madness, the road to the Final Four continuing down the dial on CTV Sportsnet. Round 2 coverage continuing all day today. (51-41). 4.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Lob passing to Harrington, stolen by Jerome Williams.
Good help by Stackhouse there to give Williams time to get over.
Oh, Grant Hill almost had the dunk on the lob from Jerry Stackhouse. That would have been astounding.
Would have been absolutely spectacular. Showing again Grant Hill in the open court. Nice look, no look from Stackhouse. And Grant Hill maybe too high, Rod. Couldn't get that ball to come down.
That was almost Carter-like. We can say that now, can't we, I guess? Slam dunk champion. Again, the Raptors playing the Rockets. We'll keep you updated on that game in Toronto today. And a whistle.
Christian Laettner didn't call for the foul there, Rod. He was doing everything he could to not allow Grant Long to come over and set a screen on Lindsey Hunter. Really got a little bit too physical. And with the interpretation of rules this season, they do not want players to impede the progress or the movement of off-the-ball cutters and players trying to come over and set screens.
Laettner, who of course teamed with Grant Hill. The Blue Devils, Pistons have had a few tandems that played college together. Mike Bibby, the Wildcat from Arizona.
See, if you're a guard, you should have no fear going to the basket because there are no shot blockers back there for Detroit. So take that ball to the bucket, try to get fouled, but no matter what you do, attack the rim.
Hill attacking the rim again. He takes it and quick lay-in off the glass, and Grant Hill now has 12 points, 53-43.
Yeah, you really got to get back on Grant Hill. Get back 2-3 feet, take his drives away. Don't allow him to make a move up the dribble and say, hey, Grant, if you can get 40 to beat us, that's fine, but it's going to have to be from the perimeter, shooting jump shot.
Dickerson returns in a moment. Grant Long with a long shot up and over the backboard. And so the Pistons could make this a single-digit lead for Vancouver.
Rod, getting back to what I was saying earlier, Lionel Hollins knows his players should go to the bucket and attack simply because Detroit last in the NBA in blocking shots. There is no presence under the hoop.
George Irvin wants to take a timeout, so we will too. We'll step aside and come back to GM Place in Vancouver.
What you don't know, they got me mic'd. They heard you anyway.
Open mic is a good thing here at CTV, especially with Bullard, but the coaches didn't like the suggestion one bit. But you will hear from the coaches at the half right here as the NBA on CTV continue. Let's go back to Vancouver. Rod and Leo.
Eight years ago, hard to believe, 1992 NC2A tournament. Grant Hill and Christian Laettner together. Cherokee Parks as well played with the Duke Blue Devils. How will we ever forget that moment? Regional final against the Kentucky Wildcats, and Laettner hit the miracle shot to send the Blue Devils to the championship, where they won one for Coach K. Grant Hill and Christian Laettner, so prominent.
Also saw Bobby Hurley distributing the basketball, another ex-Grizzly. Boy, what a run they had. Absolutely incredible.
And a violation against the Detroit Pistons, and so a chance to cut into a two-digit lead and bring it down to single digits. A turnover to the Pistons, who they now have 10.
Yeah, 10 turnovers, and the Grizzlies have done a great job of scoring off of those turnovers. Rod, 15 points off those 10 turnovers for Vancouver.
Mike Bibby, good pick and roll with Long. Lost the basketball, gives it off to Dickerson. He's been stalled at 12 points for a while, came out roaring, hasn't scored in quite some time. A fella Harrington gets the benefit of the rim.
And the benefit of the pass from Dickerson, who had the hot hand early. The defense focusing on stopping him, finds the open man.
There's Laettner, Stackhouse, and a great play run by the Pistons ends up with an easy basket by Jerry Stackhouse.
And Stackhouse over the last 8 games averaging 27. He's just got 6. He's really been invisible up to this point.
Turnover Grizzlies. That's 13 now in this first half. Lindsey Hunter. Laettner wants it back. Stackhouse gets it to Hill. Lost it out of bounds. Vancouver takes over again.
The turnovers, as we talked about, have been a problem. Vancouver, Phoenix, Friday night combined for 31 turnovers, Rod, in the first half. And right now, you have 24 between the two teams.
Bibby drives right side. They gave him the lane, and Christian Laettner looks at Lindsey Hunter and said, why didn't you take him?
That was a little too easy. Detroit Pistons have to tighten up their defense. You don't have shot blockers, but you can get your rotations and cut off.
57-45. 2 minutes to go in the first half. Abdur-Rahim with his 4th rebound. He has 6 assists and 11 points for Reef so far. Dickerson wanted the shot. Stackhouse knocked it out of bounds, but it went off of Dickerson, the official says, and so Detroit will take over again.
Rod, if you think about this, Vancouver's got 17 assists in this game. They average 20. So they're doing a great job of moving the basketball. They are going to score for Lionel Hollins. There's no problem here against the Detroit Pistons. But the turnovers, 14 turnovers, when you're shooting 67%, you're wasting tremendous scoring opportunities.
Pistons want to cut into this lead before halftime. Stackhouse had the shot, but Dickerson was right up on him. Pretty good defensive effort so far from the Grizzlies. Hill off balance, and Grant Hill will do that to you.
Yeah, that's a tough shot right there. In traffic, surrounded by white jerseys. Grant Hill, a little pump fake, and getting that soft touch right in the rim.
Mikey Moore will return for the final minute and a half in a moment. Bibby double team. Wants the pick from Grant Long. There it is, but Long's too far out. Swings it to Dickerson. Dickerson takes the shot. That was short. No chance. Jerome Williams losing it to Bibby. Bibby was looking for an alley-oop pass.
Yeah, Michael Bibby made up his mind well too early on that play.
Under a minute to go. Stackhouse makes it go for a three-pointer.
Well, the turnovers continue to hurt Vancouver. You have to be concerned if you're Lionel Hollins. You're shooting right now 66%, but you're allowing Detroit to shoot 58% and hang around by turning the ball over.
The lead into single digits. 7. Shot clock at 8. Abdur-Rahim short. Pistons again. Bring it down even closer. 30 seconds to go. Hill off balance. And a blocking call against Grant Long, so Grant Hill will go to the line.
Good decision by Grant Hill coming down the court in transition. Grant Long didn't look like he was sure if he wanted to take the charge. You see coming in a little late right there. Still moving as he tried to get under Hill, who had already left the ground.
Grant Hill has 14 points, 6 of 12 from the field. He's perfect from the line. And with 30 seconds to go, makes it a three-point effort. And now the Pistons, who once trailed by 16, are now down by only 4. Lionel Hollins wants a 20-second timeout, and there's probably a good usage of that 20-second timeout with 23 seconds left in the first half.
Well, for Vancouver, again, you have to be concerned. You're doing a great job of scoring and shooting the basketball, but your turnovers have allowed the Pistons to stick around. And keep in mind, the Pistons are shooting just under 60% themselves now, so they're scoring without a problem. So you have to be really concerned what's going to happen coming out of halftime.
Jerome Williams has been on fire since he came off the bench. 8 points and 4 rebounds. What a presence for him. I talked about what he's been doing with his dad. He told his dad earlier this year, you know, certain incentives. He made his dad, I think it was do some push-ups, then do some running. I think he got a haircut. His dad's got to be in awfully good shape right now, because every time his
cleanest cut, most conditioned.
Every time his dad sets a standard for Jerome, he said, if you get out there and you get 15 rebounds, I'll get a haircut or I'll do 100 push-ups. Well, so far he's reached all of those milestones.
Well, and it's a scary thought if you give Jerome Williams an incentive. There's plenty of players in this league that you might want to give incentive to. He's one that just doesn't need it. He's going to go out and do everything he can regardless of what's on the table.
So 23 seconds left in the first half, 17 on the shot clock. Lindsey Hunter right up on Mike Bibby. Hunter knocked it out of Bibby's hands right to Abdur-Rahim. Shot clock's at 10. Abdur-Rahim spinning, baseline. Gives it back out to Bibby. Three-point launch? No. And here come the Pistons with 7 seconds left. Stackhouse lost it. Dickerson got a hand on it, but guess who? Corner again. Not off in time, or is it? The officials say no. And that was the right call. The light had gone on. The buzzer had sounded. Stackhouse's shot did go through the basket, but after the buzzer had sounded. Let's take another look.
Great effort by Jerome Williams. Not only did he start the break, but he ran down there and got the offensive rebound and found Stackhouse. But it looks like that clock did go off.
Well, pretty close, closer than we thought. Let's join Norma Wick.
Thank you. I'm with Mike Dickerson. Mike, Lionel said before the game that it was really important for you guys to make your shots early. 80% in the first quarter, 67% now. You guys have done that.
Well, the guys, we just came out and just playing hard tonight. We're passing the ball around, getting good shots. That's why our percentage is so high.
His other concern, though, was he said throwing the ball to our team. 15 points on 15 turnovers. That's got to be a concern.
Yeah, it is. Anytime you have a lot of turnovers, the opposite team is going to get a chance to score. But tonight, we're controlling the ball. We're not turning the ball over that much. That's why our percentage is so high.
All right. Well, good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Well, Lionel Hollins has said, let's seize the moment. They have the lead. They had a 16-point advantage, but the Pistons closed the half with an 8-0 run, 57-53 at the half, as we send it back to Toronto for our NBA on CTV at the half with Sunil Joshi and Rick Barry.
Thank you very much, Rudd. Rick Barry. Well, Lionel Hollins challenged his team, and at least for a quarter and a bit, they responded.
Well, they came out a little sluggish, and then they played very, very well. But unfortunately, you don't want to go into halftime giving the other team momentum like they did. And so right now, they're definitely going to have a team that feels very confident coming in to start the second half. So a lot of work has to be done, and they have to do it with the defense.
And we'll put him to work when we come back. Also at the half, we'll hear from the coaches. They don't like the mics, but you'll hear about it. Mike Dickerson, 12 points in the first half, 2 for 2 from three-point range. Also, Sharif Abdur-Rahim, the Stars, coming to play for Vancouver.
The The Nike Halftime Report is brought to you by Nike, proud supporters of Canada basketball.
66-66, the Raptors playing at the Air Canada Centre, tied with Houston with 2 minutes and 10 seconds to play in the third quarter. Our next broadcast right here on CTV is next Sunday, 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 Pacific. It'll be a simulcast, either the Heat and Magic or 76ers and Pacers.
You were a great competitor, one of the great players to play in this league. And from the bottom of the NBA's heart, congratulations, and we look forward to seeing that number up there.
Ago yesterday, my partner, Rick Barry, had his uniform retired Golden State, one of only 4 Golden State Warriors. Can you name them? Al Attles,
Will Chamberlain, Al Attles, Thomas Sherry, and Nate Thurman.
Thomas Sherry. Congratulations, a well-deserving honor.
Well, thank you. You guys surprised me there.
Now, you've been telling me that you've got an answer for why the Vancouver Grizzlies are struggling.
It's so obvious, it's absolutely ludicrous, and everybody's going to kick themselves for not thinking about it. The Grizzlies are bears. They're in hibernation. It's wintertime. Come on, give me a break. Let's take a look, though, at the way you have to wait.
all day.
I'm not waiting for that one. You can see the inside scoring. That's why the Grizzlies have the lead. Every game this season that we've been on here, the team that has led in that area and the inside scoring has been the team that's usually come out victorious. Fast break points, the Pistons have a little bit of an edge. Second chance points, 6-5 in favor of the Grizzlies. But the key to it is that they are controlling the inside game, and that's what you have to do. The second half, it's going to take more of the same if they expect to win this ball game.
Taking a look at the first half synopsis, Grant Hill has 15 points for the Pistons. Sharif has 11, and look at those shooting percentages. The third quarter coming up from Vancouver.
Very quick first half here at GM Place. A lot of points scored, not much defense, but credit both sides. They were up and out and running. Detroit came out with a 7-2 lead, and then Vancouver just turned it on, had a 16-point lead, but it's suddenly only 4.
Well, it's really going to come down to defense and turnovers in this game because Vancouver's had no problem scoring. Neither has Detroit, for that matter. Both teams shooting incredible percentages. Detroit, 57%. Grant Hill, 15 points. And Michael Bibby, you see, you go to the basket, you're playing against the last team in the NBA in terms of block shots. Nobody's going to stop you if you take the ball to the bucket. And Michael Dickerson, how about his first half? Rod, perfect from behind the line. He had 12 points to lead the Vancouver Grizzlies.
They didn't go to him very often, though, in the second quarter, mostly in the first quarter. There you see the shot chart for Michael Dickerson.
And good job of mixing it up, Rod. You see a couple of three-pointers, a couple of shots in the lane, and that's the important thing. You got to mix it up, feed off your teammates, and that's one of the things the Vancouver Grizzlies did very well in that first half. 17 assists, did a great job of moving the ball and sharing it.
The Pistons on this West Coast swing starting here in Vancouver, whereas Lionel Hollins Grizzlies, second game of a 9-game homestand. So you have to figure sometime soon this losing is going to end, this streak is going to end, and the Grizzlies want it to end today. A fella Harrington inside, no whistle. It looked like it could have been a foul underneath in the paint. Lindsey Hunter on the wing. Quickly, the Pistons bring it back and make it a one-point ball game. 57-56.
And in transition, you have to find Lindsey Hunter. Again, even though he's a point guard, he's looking for his shot. He's going to try to spot up as soon as he gets down the floor.
Pistons looking for a stop and then try to regain the lead. Abdur-Rahim off balance. That shot had no chance on top of Grant Hill. Here comes Hill, dribbling, knifing to the basket, and that's Grant Hill giving the Pistons the lead.
A great job at the defensive end, changing the shot of Abdur-Rahim, coming down on the break, leading the break, Rod, with the left hand, taking that ball to the basket. You've got to love the player using both hands around the hoop.
Well, if that microphone was on Lionel Hollins right now, you know that he would not be very excited about this start to the third quarter.
No, he definitely wants his team to come out with aggression at the beginning of the third quarter. You can go into any huddle in any NBA game and understand the first thing that's going to be said coming into the second half is the first 5 minutes of the third quarter are critical to establishing the way you want to play. And one of the things you want to do is get good shots, good execution, have good spacing, which they showed in the first half. The Grizzlies are more than capable of doing.
George Irvin, who started Leo Routen's broadcasting career, as a matter of fact.
Another one of these coaches that cut me. And the worst part is he was only there for a little while with the Indiana Pacers and he got rid of him.
Bibby off to Dickerson. Abdur-Rahim underneath. Strong to the basket. There's a block close to the hoop. Christian Laettner doing a good job in the paint.
A little casual there for Abdur-Rahim. Usually goes up with a little bit more authority than that. And that's why I'm starting to wonder how his legs are feeling this late in the season. The shot looks very flat, more flat than usual. And that move really wasn't that strong going to the basket.
Hill again. Off the glass. Grizzlies control. Abdur-Rahim has it. Grant Hill still on the ground and still trying to defend Abdur-Rahim.
Abdur-Rahim kind of hopped out of that pile there, Rod. That's either a travel or you're going to have to call a foul on somebody.
Underneath, Pistons get it. Hunter on the move again. 58-57 Detroit. Look out, Terry Mills 3-ball.
Well, his shot's not looking good so far. Hit a jumper early in the game, but really has not been connecting with his perimeter shots.
Mike Bibby telling his teammates, we're going to slow it down here. We're going to work a play. That's one thing about the Pistons. These guys get out and run. And when they do, they'll kill you. 7 seconds left on the shot clock. Dickerson to Abdur-Rahim. Dickerson. Short. The buzzer went off for the shot clock, but the ball did hit the rim. And it hits the rim again. Once again, Vancouver regains possession. Reeves back to Abdur-Rahim. In the air, off to Dickerson. And he will go to the line. A foul on Mike Dickerson.
See, that time taking that ball to the basket, Rod, he had another wide open three where it might have been better to dribble in, get a short jump shot. You take those threes, when you've missed one, you don't necessarily want to come right back and take it again. So take an extra dribble to take the easiest available shot till you get back into your groove, which he had in that first quarter.
Dickerson, who hasn't scored in a while, his first free throw of the game, now 13 points. Ties the game at 58. And a 1-point lead for Vancouver. The Grizzlies are 0 for the field so far in the third quarter. They have not had a field goal yet. Hunter double team. Mills to Laettner. Paces up Harrington. Shot clock at 8. Laettner fouled by Othella Harrington.
Now you really have to understand who you're playing against if you're Othella Harrington. Christian Laettner does not have the physical capability anymore of jumping over you. He's going to try to get you up in the air every single time with his pump fakes and ball fakes. You have to stay down, just get a hand up, and force him just to shoot over you. When you're 6'10", that's good enough of an obstacle when you're playing a player like Laettner.
Well, you heard Rick Barry facetiously say that, well, the Bears have been in hibernation, but he may not be wrong in that, because in March, the Vancouver Grizzlies have had a horrible record over the last few years. In fact, in 1996, they were 0-17. They're 5-69 in the month of March. Harrington. Dickerson, the rebound. Underneath Hill. Off balance, and here comes Hunter again. Off to Laettner. Almost lost it.
Not a great decision there by Hunter to drop it off to Laettner on the full run. Again, it's a shade of what it used to be in terms of his ability to catch and run the floor.
Laettner missing. Vancouver with 3 to go ahead. A 2 will tie. And Laettner fouled Othella Harrington in the post.
Othella Harrington trying to establish his position. Did a pretty good job of keeping Laettner on his back. That's a 3rd foul now on Christian Laettner. See, if you're patient, Rod, if you're patient, if you're Vancouver, taking your time, get good spacing, good execution, set some screens, look inside the post, kick it back out, you're going to have plenty of opportunities to score.
Reeves knocked out of bounds by Vancouver. Detroit ball.
And see, Big Country changing his shot that time, Rod, going into the lane and double clutching in the air. Go into the defender, attack the defender, make some contact, get him on his heels. He's not going to be able to block the shot, and you're going to get to the free throw line.
Grizzlies now 0 for 8 from the field to start the third quarter. Stackhouse, so far this hasn't exactly been textbook basketball from both sides to open up the second half.
Well, Vancouver's struggling to get their offense going, and you know Detroit wants to get out and run, and they're going to make some mistakes and take some bad shots trying to do that. So Vancouver's got a real good opportunity if they can keep the Pistons from getting into the flow and getting up and down the court. But the only way to do that is you have to score at the other end as well.
Detroit by 1. Bibby around everybody. Sharif. That shot was good.
See what happens there, Rod. You get some good penetration. You drive the baseline. The defense shifts. You get a wide open shot, and if Abdur-Rahim misses that, there are rebounders in position.
Leitner looked like he was going to take the shot, waited, then took it anyways. Reeves the rebound. Pulls down number 4 for him in the game. 61-60 Vancouver. Bibby wanted Harrington. Gave it to Abdur-Rahim. Off to Reeves, 15-footer. No. Good work underneath by Harrington. Wants a foul, but here comes Grant Hill again. Look out. And Grant Hill will go to the line, and the Grizzly coaching staff is all over the officials right now, feeling there was no foul.
That was a very, very late call right there. Actually, Grant Hill went to the bucket earlier in this half, and I thought there was contact. There was no call this time. Really, by the time he released the ball, I didn't see any contact. We get another look. Nice little crossover there, protecting that basketball and wide open. Maybe Michael Bibby coming from behind, but again, didn't look like there was any contact.
Well, they gave the foul to Dickerson, and didn't look like Dickerson.
Well, the worst part about it, Rod, that whistle wasn't blown until Grant Hill missed the shot.
So Hill perfect from the line today. 5 of 5, 19 points for Grant Hill.
He's really stepped it up. He's trying to get his team going. He's trying to push that ball up the court, being a little bit more aggressive than the way he started out the game.
Bibby once again to Reeves this time, and there's a foul, and Brian Reeves will go to the line, and maybe a bit of a payback foul too. Grant Hill picks up his personal. That is his first.
No argument from Grant Hill. He tried to come over to help out and end up stepping on the foot of Big Country. Good dive to the bucket by the big fella. Big Country saw the penetration. He went right into the lane, gave himself a real good opportunity to catch the ball and go up.
When Brian Reeves came back to the lineup earlier this week after being on the injury list with his knee injury, playing against Seattle, he hit 11 straight field goals, 31 points, 12 rebounds. Unfortunately, still in a loss for the Grizzlies.
Well, I mentioned off the top his couple of games against Seattle, 31 points, 18 points. Also did a real nice job on the glass, but came back and struggled Friday against Phoenix. Now, to his credit, Phoenix is a very difficult team for him to play against because they're such a wide open, spread out transition team. So that's a game the Big Country can look bad at.
Vancouver by 1. Until Grant Hill does that, putting the Pistons up by 1 again. 21 for number 33.
He's been really working on that shot off the dribble, left hand, right hand pull up, as well as the catch and shoot. He's got a shooting coach, Chip England, who's with him constantly, another ex-Duke basketball player who's really been working hard on his shot.
Well, Sharif Abdur-Rahim, nicest move of the game, spinning inside. 15 for Sharif. Leitner, lob pass to Stackhouse. Nice play.
Well, excellent job, good spacing there, good patience getting the ball from the wing to the top. Stackhouse now with 11 points. Stackhouse, Rod, has only taken 9 shots in this game. He's been putting up some heavy numbers last 8 games.
The lead seesawing back and forth. Pistons by 1, Grizzlies by 1. Dickerson now doing it again from the field off the glass. He has 16. Stackhouse to Leitner. In and out. Bibby off to Dickerson again. Terry Mills swatting it back out. Mike Bibby will set up a play. Under 6 to go here in the third quarter. Harrington gets it in the post. A little juke there on the Duke player. Leitner didn't work. Stackhouse to Hill. Facing up to Abdur-Rahim, who got a hand on that ball. Bibby to Sharif. Terry Mills will send Sharif to the line.
Good defense by Abdur-Rahim, getting a piece of that shot by Grant Hill, and then getting out on the break.
Other action today, the Lakers beat the Knicks 92-85 at the Garden. O'Neal with 43 points. Utah and Jersey, the Jazz winning this one by 4. The Raptors are playing Houston at home at the ACC and trail by 2 with 7.5 to play. Let's go back to Vancouver.
Well, look at the Eastern Conference standings where the Detroit Pistons are 32-32 and certainly in a fight to just make the playoffs. The Raptors, with a win over Houston today, could move a little closer to the New York Knicks. They currently hold down the 4th spot if the playoffs began today.
A great opportunity for Toronto to try to catch the New York Knicks and possibly move ahead. Who'd have thought at the beginning of the season they would be in that situation? And also, who would have thought that Orlando would even be trying to get into the playoffs? Doc Rivers doing a great job in Milwaukee, maybe playing themselves right out of the playoffs.
Yeah, the Bucks have gone for a full-scale swoon under George Karl, and with the talent on that roster, they may be one of the deepest teams in the East, but it's just not coming through.
Well, problems with Milwaukee, very similar to Detroit in the sense that no presence around the basket. Defensively, they can't guard, they don't block shots. Offensively, when they're on, they can really play. Another problem with Milwaukee, Sam Cassell at the point guard, Rod, he wants commitment financially, and I don't think he believes he's going to get it in Milwaukee, so he's not giving them his commitment either.
The Grizzlies perfect from the line today. They now lead by 3. Here's Norma.
Thanks, Ron. In that last huddle, Lionel spent a lot of time just trying to rally his troops. He said, we have to stay together. Don't start trying to do it by yourselves. We're in this game because we've defended and we've rebounded, but don't start going willy-nilly now. Now is the time to stay together, play hard, defend hard. Right?
Well, I get the chance to talk to them again because the Pistons have taken a 20-second timeout, and I'm sure the same thing is being said over in the other huddle by the new Pistons interim coach, George Irvin. Don't forget, everybody, in the Vancouver and Toronto areas, we have regional basketball down the dial on CTV Sportsnet. Grizzlies and the Golden State Warriors Tuesday 7:30 in Vancouver, and then in Toronto the Raptors against the New Jersey Nets, and there's a team that could play itself into the playoffs. The Nets playing good basketball lately. That's Tuesday at 7 in Toronto.
George Irvin, Pistons calling a timeout. The Grizzlies showing some full court pressure, trying to slow the Pistons down, try to break the rhythm getting into the offense.
5 minutes to go now in the 3rd quarter. Vancouver by 3. Grant Hill with 21 points. Guarded by Sharif, who has 17. Laettner posting up Harrington. Good D by the Grizzlies, collapsing on him. Hill just before the shot clock expires.
Rod, that is a very difficult shot. People don't realize how difficult it is to stop, fake against 2 defenders, and then to jump again and get that shot out. That is not as easy as Grant Hill made it look.
Well, he makes things look easy. He is an all-world player, Grant Hill. 23 points now, 9 of 17 from the field. 1-point game again. Shot clock for Harrington is at 5. Somebody better shoot it. Bibby gets it underneath. Off the glass. Feed from Harrington. Mike Bibby, smallest guy on the court, gets the basket.
Good patience by a fellow Harrington, Rod. He saw Bibby making that cut, and he didn't rush the pass, waited for him to get under the bucket before he found him with that pass.
The lead restored to 3. Dennis Scott will check into the game for Lionel Hollins, and we have an illegal defense violation. That is the first against Vancouver. The next will result in a free throw being tossed.
Rod, I always like to see some illegal defense calls, especially it tells you that you're playing defense, you're thinking help, you're thinking about rotating. It tells you that you're on your toes trying to help everybody out. It's very important to do that if you're going to be successful against a team like Detroit, which can break you down off the dribble.
Hill breaking down the Grizzlies, and a foul. Dennis Scott, the blocking foul. He wanted the charge.
That's a tough call right there. I thought Dennis Scott did a pretty good job of coming over and reading the play. We just talked about help and rotating. You watch right here, Dennis Scott comes over and he's just waiting, although you see this replay here. At the last second, looked like he may have still been moving, but good idea by Dennis Scott.
And you can see Jerry Stackhouse hitting the 15-footer. That was a technical foul call against Sharif Abdur-Rahim.
Abdur-Rahim has to stay in control. A lot of times what happens, you're in an 11-game skid, you're trying to win, you're putting it all on the court right now. You can't let your frustrations get the best of you. There's going to be calls going against you. There's going to be missed shots. There's going to be bad breaks. You have to maintain your composure and give yourself an opportunity to be successful.
Grant Hill makes it 24 points in the game. Michael Curry will check in for Jerry Stackhouse. Grant Hill, third in the NBA in scoring, 26.2 average, so just below that now at 25 in the game.
Big question in Detroit is, will Grant Hill be back next season? He's a free agent. There's a couple of teams, namely Chicago, Orlando, with an awful lot of money to throw at a player like Grant Hill. And Grant Hill's looking for a place that I believe that he wants to play where he can be an important part, not the main part.
Fella Harrington will go to the line. Grant Hill picking up his second personal. Some very interesting scenarios could play out in the summer with Tim Duncan, Grant Hill, potentially Tracy McGrady in Toronto.
Yeah, Tracy McGrady, a lot of rumors floating around what might happen in his situation, as well as the rumors floating around Vancouver with Michael Isley taking over this team as the new owner, and what might happen as far as management and the personnel on the bench is concerned.
And it still hasn't been officially approved, although it is expected to be, that Michael Heisley will take over as owner and has full intention upon keeping this team in Vancouver, something that Bill Laurie and company in St. Louis had no intention of doing. That's the good news.
Well, Michael Heisley hired Dick Versace as his basketball consultant. Versace already, rumor has it, has many people out there in different functions and roles for the Vancouver Grizzlies, which tells you that there are going to be wholesale changes.
Shot clock just might expire right here. It does. So good defense from Vancouver with a 1-point lead and 3:19 to go here in the third quarter.
That's the effort they need at the defensive end. Excellent job, everybody coming over, helping out, moving their feet instead of playing with the hands.
Bibby shouting out instructions. Lionel Hollins also up again. Harrington the pick. Bibby the dribble to the corner for Dennis Scott, who lost it to guess who? The junkyard dog back in the game, Jerome Williams.
It was a good move by Bibby, but not a good pass. You have a shooter waiting in the corner. You have to put it right on the numbers so he can catch and shoot.
This second unit, or some parts of it, did a great job in the first half for George Irvin. Michael Curry off balance in the face of Sharif Abdur-Rahim, and suddenly the Pistons up by 1.
Michael Curry, again, the utility guy, hits that shot, plays great defense, doesn't make a lot of mistakes on the floor. A player that any team really would love to have coming in off their bench.
Again, leapfrogging on the scoreboard, both teams. Pistons ahead by 1. Grizzlies almost lost it. Sharif now with 19 points.
That was a great effort by Abdur-Rahim to get that ball back. A second consecutive pass that wasn't thrown well by Michael Bibby, but Abdur-Rahim saved it.
Williams, good D from Harrington, knocked out of bounds. Vancouver ball. The officials will confer. Williams isn't happy. He says it's a Detroit ball. They're going to say jump ball when we come back. 74-73 Vancouver. Timeout on the floor. Well, certainly the last 11 games have done nothing for the security of Lionel Hollins and his future, perhaps, as head coach of the Grizzlies, but Lionel isn't worried right now.
As Michael Heisley said many moons ago, that he would make a decision when he took over officially, and he hasn't taken over officially, and he hasn't made a decision, and he hasn't talked to me. And frankly, I'm not even thinking about it or concerned about it. As I've said many times as well, when he makes a decision, I'll either be the head coach or I won't be the head coach, and I'll be looking for another job.
Well, Lionel, with the interim tag, like George Irvin, but I'll tell you what, a win today, ending this 11-game skid, would certainly turn the ship in the right direction once again.
One difference between the two coaches, Lionel Hollins obviously would like to continue on as Grizzlies coach. George Irvin flat out said, I don't want to be the coach here. I'm just doing this job as an interim thing.
Well, his best friend was Alvin Gentry, who was the head coach before he was given the axe. Jerome Williams got the tip but gave it right to a fella Harrington. The officials couldn't make a decision before we left for commercial break, so they said jump ball. Vancouver by 1. 2 minutes to go here in the third. Scott looking for 3 ball. Shot clock at 5. Dickerson knifing to the basket. Harrington was there for the putback, but Jerome Williams, another rebound.
Jerome Williams had no business getting that rebound. Othello Harrington had it in his hands, did a great job of coming over to get the offensive rebound, but Williams just snagged it away from him. He's got 7 boards.
Stackhouse will go to the line as he is fouled by the Grizzlies.
Get a look at his drive by Michael Dickerson. Jerome Williams comes over to help. See that? Othello Harrington is right there for the offensive rebound. Gets 2 hands on it, and Williams says, hey, wait a minute. This is mine. Give it back. We have to go the other way.
Jerry Stackhouse, remember the draft of '95? Bryant Reeves, Damon Stoudemire, Kevin Garnett, Joe Smith, Antonio McDyess, all of those players. He has the best career scoring average among all of those players.
Well, he made the all-star team this season, and Jerry Stackhouse, a very talented offensive player. No one's ever questioned that. They question, can he play within the team system, coexist with an Allen Iverson, which obviously that wasn't a situation that worked out well, but he is coexisting with Grant Hill.
Scott for 2. There's Scott. Didn't have his legs into that shot. Tie ball game, 74-74. There's Stackhouse. Leitner coming off the wing. Posting up Harrington and spinning. Christian Leitner, nice move, nice basket. That's 10 for Leitner.
And a good move for a guy, again, that's not going to jump over you. Using his body, creating some space, spinning to the baseline, showing that soft touch.
More pressure on Mike Bibby. That's what the Pistons have done today. Grizzlies have given up the ball 18 times. Abdur-Rahim, no. 40 seconds to go here in the third quarter. 2-point Piston lead. Thrown away by the Pistons. Dickerson takes it himself, and he'll go to the line. Michael Curry, the foul at the rim.
Heads-up defensive play there by Dickerson, and an aggressive move. Good decision after the steal to go right down court into the basket. Look at that. Great hands anticipating the pass to Michael Curry. And then they realized the defense wasn't in good position. They didn't risk a turnover, but took it strong to the basket.
Lionel Hollins will go back to his bench and bring in Felipe Lopez and Grant Long in a moment. Grizzlies 11 of 12 from the line today.
And one of the things that Grant Long, who's coming into the game, really has to focus in on, Rod. He's a hustle player. He's a role player that gets a lot of garbage hoops and rebounds that he has to help you out, especially on the offensive glass with. And when he played in the first half, I thought he could have ran back a few times and not allowed Jerome Williams to get on the glass. Grant Long has to provide that effort as an example to all the younger players, being a veteran that came over to Vancouver as a free agent.
So once again, all square. 30 seconds left in the third quarter. 18 on the shot clock. Stackhouse to the corner to Hunter. 3-pointer, big one from Lindsey Hunter.
That great pass from Stackhouse right over the head of Michael Bibby. He didn't see the ball, and Hunter just nailed it.
79-76. Vancouver will play for last shot. Will they go for the 3? Pick and roll. Bibby loses it. Williams again. Another turnover by Vancouver. Final 2 seconds. Hunter has to shoot it. Leitner takes it. It's short. But Lindsey Hunter with a key 3-pointer. Leitner had a shot at the buzzer. And Detroit with a 79-76 lead after 3 here in Vancouver.
It's the Pistons by 3 after 3. Hello, everyone. I'm Jamie Campbell in the Sportsnet studios. We're back to Vancouver shortly. First of all, let's bring you up to date on the Raptors facing the Houston Rockets. Toronto had won 10 of 11 going in. Vince Carter with 30 against Orlando on Friday. Houston off to a good start. Shandon Anderson to Steve Francis, the man they love to hate in Vancouver. He gets the jam. It's the Rockets by 4. In the second quarter, Tracy McGrady doing it on D. Look at this rejection, big time, from behind on Kelvin Cato. The Raptors pull ahead. Carter throws it down. 2 of his 18 first-half points. Toronto was up by 12 at halftime, but in the third, the Rockets come back. It's Anderson laying it in for 2 off the glass. It's Houston by 4 after 3. They're going toe-to-toe, and at this point in the fourth quarter, Toronto leads by 1. Join Jamie Campbell and Mike Toth on Primetime Sports Central. Right now, we go back to Rod and Leo.
Well, Vince Carter, of course, being compared to Michael Jordan. Unfair comparisons. Remember a few years ago when Grant Hill was the guy being compared to MJ? I think people just call him Grant now, and he does the job. 25 points so far, 9 of 17 shooting, 7 of 7 from the line. Let's face it, he is the guy they go to. They have gone to over the last few years in Detroit, and you know they are going to go to in the fourth quarter.
No doubt about it. And one of the things I like about Grant Hill in this game, when his team has been struggling or when Stackhouse hasn't been able to get the basketball, that's when he's looked to be more aggressive. Because if he had his choice, he would like to play a total team game and get everybody involved and not be the guy that has to put up the big numbers.
Quick breather for Hill on the bench. Grizzlies have been shooting themselves in the foot today. 80% shooting in the first quarter, 45% in the second, just 26% in the third. Leitner, turnaround. Pistons can't control.
And we saw the point scoring for the quarters, Rod. Vancouver only 19 points in that third quarter.
So the fourth quarter, Vancouver down by 3. Here comes Stackhouse. And he is fouled by Michael Dickerson on his way to the basket. For Dickerson, that is foul number 3. 20 turnovers so far by Vancouver.
And 20 points for Detroit off of those 20 turnovers. Nice job by Stackhouse trying to get ahead of Michael Dickerson. And it was an excellent feed by Jerome Williams, who we've talked about over and over in this game, to find Stackhouse and give him that lead pass on the break.
Jerry Stackhouse, who is second in the NBA in scoring among guards. Allen Iverson, of course, is number 1.
And as a guard, what he does very well, especially as of late, especially over the last 8 games, getting to the line about 8 times a game. And that just tells you you're aggressive going to the basket. He's not afraid to finish, and he can finish strong above the rim with some spectacular dunks. But he's a player that is very good at breaking you down off the dribble.
Now the Grizzlies must be very careful because the Pistons stole it again. Jerome Williams, look out. And a foul by Sharif Abdur-Rahim will send Jerome Williams to the line. This is a time in a ball game. You and I have done a lot of Grizzly games over the years, and this is a time in the game where teams turn it up, and the Grizzlies have often gone south.
Exactly. One of the things you don't want to do is pick up the ball in this area of the court. You're trapped by not only Lindsey Hunter and Jerome Williams, but the center line and the sideline. You want to make sure you don't pick up your dribble and get yourself in a situation where you're going to be forced to turn the ball over.
That was Abdur-Rahim's second personal, by the way. So Williams now has 9 points. This is the biggest lead of the ball game for the Pistons. At 6, 82-76.
Rod, getting back to what you were saying about this time of game for Vancouver, you have to learn how to win. And that's something the Vancouver Grizzlies have really struggled with. But you have to give yourself a chance. And they've been in many games. You can't let it slip away late in the game. You have to control the basketball. And the biggest thing that I found in Vancouver is individuals take it upon themselves to try to win the game. Stay within the concept of the team game. Have trust in your teammates and get it done that way.
So you're saying move the ball. Grant Long stolen by Stackhouse. Off to Hunter. Into Jerome Williams. Huge block by Dennis Scott.
You don't see that too often. But good hands getting the ball as Jerome Williams tried to go up with it.
Bibby for 3. Short. Air ball.
Well, see, that's the shot that Bibby hit early in the game. You don't have to rush it. Take your time, get your legs into it. The further the shot late in the game, you need more legs because you're getting tired. But again, what I talked about in terms of don't take it upon yourself individually. We saw Grant Long try to make a one-on-one move that he hasn't made all game. Why do it in the fourth quarter?
Big Country Bryant Reeves will come back into the game. Stackhouse with 15. 17.
And the dangerous part of playing teams like the Detroit Pistons, you have 2 tremendous one-on-one players in Grant Hill and Jerry Stackhouse. If it's a close game, they can take it over.
The lead is 9. Dennis Scott looking for Abdur-Rahim. Trying to lob it in. Stolen again. Another turnover. Grizzlies are doing it to themselves.
Yeah, a lot of those turnovers, just careless turnovers. The pressure is not that great to force these turnovers. Vancouver just not taking care of the basketball.
Stackhouse, the three-pointer doesn't go. Grizzlies still can't get it. A loose ball foul, but it's against Detroit.
That's a difficult call there for Jerome Williams to handle. he was doing a great job just keeping that ball alive.
So Lionel Hollins will most definitely want to talk with his team about what's happened here in the fourth quarter. 85-76 Pistons, and we'll come back. Well, deja vu all over again for the Vancouver Grizzlies in this fourth quarter. They must turn it back up. Still lots of time left. But at one time, the Grizzlies had a 16-point lead. But mostly due to this guy, Grant Hill, with 25 points. The Pistons now lead by 9 with 9:43 left in the fourth quarter.
Rod, Detroit Pistons give up 103 points a game. Vancouver is making Detroit look like a very good defensive team right now because they're standing around. They're trying to do things one-on-one. They're taking the first available shot. Get movement, get some passing, create something for your teammates. Don't try to do it individually.
Brian Reeves in the game. Bibby almost lost it again. They are all over Mike Bibby today. Reeves double team. Dickerson to the basket, and all of a sudden he will go to the line as he was met by about 3 Pistons. Here's Norma Wick.
Thanks, Rod. In that last time out, Lionel took about the 15th opportunity of the evening to remind his team to throw the ball to the guys in our jerseys. But he also wanted to remind the team that this is winning time, and he wants them to get more aggressive about going to the basket. He said, now is the time to be aggressive. Now is the time to play big. Rod?
Well, over their losing streak, the Grizzlies, over the last 15 games, 12 times the team that has won the fourth quarter in those games has won the game.
You have to step up when the time counts, and you could tell why Lionel Hollins was upset about throwing it to the other team. Turnovers, first 5 possessions of this fourth quarter, 4 turnovers and 1 missed shot for the Grizzlies.
85-78, just over 9 to go. Shot clock at 8. Good spin move by Grant Hill, blocked by Michael Dickerson out of bounds.
That's good defense there by Dickerson. Really, Grant Hill had nowhere to go on the baseline, and Dickerson able to get behind him and catch the shot.
So Hill will inbound. 6 on the shot. Stackhouse wide open. Grant Long can't get the rebound. Jerome Williams threw it into Mikey Moore. Dribbles out of trouble. There's Williams again. He has been all over the court, Leo.
Offensive foul there. Good job by Grant Long to get ahead of Jerome Williams. But if I'm a coach, I'm going to say, hey, no worries on that one, Jerome Williams. You did a great job. That time you're getting called for the foul. I appreciate your hustle. He's just out working everybody else on the court. That includes his own teammates.
Swinging it out to Dickerson, who has 20 points today. Reeves back to Scott. 3 ball. Yes! Dennis Scott cuts the lead to 4.
The further the season goes along, Dennis Scott will be getting in better and better shape. He really hasn't been a factor trying to get his body back to its old form.
And a blocking foul against Vancouver as Stackhouse was making his way to the basket. Grant Long whistled for the foul. And for Long, that is his second personal. Actually, they changed the call. It goes to Dennis Scott. So Scott takes the foul. That's his first personal. Grizzlies need to stop. Double team on Stackhouse. Scott watches him. The shot was short. Reeves the rebound. 7th of the game for Big Country. Bibby, quick shot.
And the quick shot allows Jerome Williams to pick up his 9th rebound, Rod. You have to be patient. You can get that shot anytime you want. If you're hot, that's one thing. If you're not shooting the ball, you give Detroit another opportunity to score because there's going to be no offensive rebounds off a quick shot.
And you know, when you get to the other end, Grant Hill will do that. So Hill has 27. And the lead is 6.
And Jerome Williams, Rod, 9 rebounds out of 22 for Detroit.
Reeves. Hill with quick hands, bats it away from Big Country. Williams to Hill, back out to Hunter. Knocked away by Dickerson.
That's another late call right there. The right call, Rod. Grant Hill did get hit on the arm as he turned, but we're seeing some late calls, and most of them do center around Grant Hill.
Michael Dickerson with his 4th personal.
Get a look, there's the foul, the reach in, catching the arm as well as the ball by Michael Dickerson. And Grant Hill saying, hey, How long is it going to take you to make that call?
Wasn't in a penalty situation. 8 on the shot clock. Stackhouse to Williams. Out of bounds. Jerome Williams looked like an Olympic diver there.
Oh, he came out of nowhere just to catch the basketball, but by the time he landed, he was already heading out of bounds and just tried to make some kind of a play out of it.
Is there a harder worker in the NBA than this guy?
He's like a Dennis Rodman, not quite as intelligent a basketball player, but certainly somebody you can count on to be there night in and night out, which you couldn't do with Dennis Rodman, as was proved in Dallas.
Intelligence off the court.
Exactly.
Lionel Hollins not happy with that. 25 turnovers now.
Keep in mind,
for the
Friday
Grizzlies
against Phoenix, Vancouver Grizzlies at 28, which was a season high. They might eclipse that today.
And as Jerry Stackhouse was going off the wing, Dennis Scott picked up another foul, and that is his 3rd personal. And we are now in the penalty, so Stackhouse will shoot with 17 points and a 6-point Detroit lead.
When you talk about players playing together, Rod, if you look at the way Stackhouse and Hill have played in this game, they've taken the right shots. Neither player, and you don't expect it from Hill, more in reference to Stackhouse. Stackhouse has taken good shots in this game, hasn't forced a lot of shots, and Hill normally plays within the framework of the team. But both of them doing a real good job. Hill with 27 and Stackhouse with 19, and both of them getting to the free throw line 7 times each.
89-81, 7 minutes to go. Vancouver needs a run, and they need to hang on to the basketball mostly.
Good pressure on the basketball by Jerome Williams. Big country standing up straight, playing vertical. If you're playing against pressure, you're going to find yourself in a lot of problems. You have to get down and create space.
Raptors, Rockets at the ACC, and the legend of Vince continues to grow. Take a look at what happens with 11 seconds to play.
Williams, the Rockets have a delay of the game to give up if they want to use it. Now Walt will guard the inbounds pass. They're going to Carter. 10 seconds.
All right, he's going to...
He'll wait.
Yeah, he's going to wait. Watch the penetration. He's going to the basket. Score!
Nobody picked him up. Vince Carter with 1.6 gets Toronto a 2-point
So the
lead.
Rockets had one last chance with 1.6 seconds to play to tie the game.
Giving it up. Walt Williams has to throw it up, and it's short. And the Toronto Raptors win it with Vince Carter.
Raptors win their 4th in a row, 10 of the last 11. Vince with 37. Let's go back to Vancouver. Rod, Leo.
Unbelievable. Pistons pressing here. 89-81. Grizzlies trying to get back in this ball game, a game they once owned with under 7 to go. Raptors moving a game closer to the New York Knicks for 3rd, and the legend of Vince continues to grow indeed. Michael Dickerson can't make it go, but Grant Long is underneath. Ribio to Scott, trying to get it into Reeves. Leitner doing a good job on him. Long from 15 feet, got it.
Long didn't look like he wanted to take the shot, but it was there. He presented himself at the free throw line, turned, had a good look.
Grant Long with 6 points. 89-83. Sharif Abdur-Rahim will check back in. Hill off balance, lost it, got it back. Grant Hill now 29 points.
I tell you what, that was just an outstanding effort and great awareness of where the ball was. Got turned around in the air. Mikey Moore kept it alive, but Hill comes to the ground, finds the ball, and goes right back up with it.
91-83. Reeves had an open shot, didn't take it.
And you see the pass, Rod, it wasn't a good pass. He threw a look-away pass, and all he had to do was throw it to Scott for an easy shot.
Michael Dickerson off the glass. The putback is there by Big Country.
That's good effort right there by the big fella. Go after the ball. Get points off the glass. No one's going to stop you if you attack those.
Reeves approaching a double-double. Stackhouse throws another dagger at the Grizzlies.
And Stackhouse has been picking and choosing his spots in this game. Again, his shot selection has been very good, shooting 50% to get his 21.
Scott. 18-footer. Yes, rattles it in.
Now you see the difference on that pass, Rod. He gave it to Scott right on the numbers so he can catch and shoot or catch and fake like he did and draw the defense and able to make a move off the dribble. If you're passing it to a shooter, very important to give it to him in the right spot.
Vancouver must find some way to stop the Pistons. Mikey Moore's shot is off. 93-87. Stackhouse and Hill, by the way, have now combined for 50 points.
Right where they average on the season, as we talked about, the second highest scoring duo in the NBA, right behind Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant of the Los Angeles Lakers.
Long will have to take this shot. And he got it.
Excellent poise right there by Grant Long. Fake, get Christian Laettner up in the air, calmly knocking down a jumper in crunch time.
Well, Vancouver right back in it now again. 93-89. Couple of key buckets from number 43, Grant Long. He now has 8 points. We'll come back to Vancouver. Stay with us.
CTV Sports presentation of the NBA on CTV, sponsored by Nike, proud supporters of Canada basketball, and by Pontiac, built for drivers.
They call him Stack. Jerry Stackhouse today, 21 points against Vancouver. Doing it inside and out. And of course, Grant Hill, the other part of that duet that we talked about at the beginning of our show. 29 points for Hill, 50 points for the two of them. They rank second in the NBA as far as tandems go, behind Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant, who play completely different basketball.
Well, obviously, you have a big man and a perimeter player in Los Angeles, Shaquille O'Neal, the most dominant big man in the game today. Whereas both Grant Hill and Stackhouse have that fine mix of inside-outside, but based on a perimeter game, and that's an example of that improved jump shot by Grant Hill getting into the lane, and he effortlessly jumps up over the defense. 31 points.
That shooting coach, Chip Engelland, is certainly getting his money's worth from Grant Hill and vice versa. Stackhouse, another turnover, 26 by the Grizzlies. Williams fighting underneath, but Grant Long gets it back. 95-89, approaching 3.5 minutes to go in the fourth. Long takes it again. No, not this time.
Good blocks out there. Jerry Stackhouse getting down and helping his teammates out. Had Abdur-Rahim on his back so he could get that defensive rebound.
94-89. Hill. Double team there. Abdur-Rahim watches him. Help comes. Jerome Williams underneath. Wow. The Junkyard Dog doing it again.
And a Junkyard Dog with a double-double in points and rebounds. 10 points, 10 rebounds. And again, Rod, that's just sheer effort. That's just wanting to get the ball more than anybody else and going after it.
97-89. 3 minutes to go. Pistons also hustling on D. Dickerson with 6 on the shot clock. Will have to shoot it. 3 on the shot clock. 2 on the shot clock. Dickerson, no. Didn't hit the rim, so the shot clock expired.
Not a good shot there. Good defense by Stackhouse. Vancouver Grizzlies have to take a little bit more time and execute. Now, great job. Watch over here and watch Jerome Williams make an effort. He has no business getting this rebound. Now remember, if there's one guy you got to find, that's Jerome Williams. Here's the move. Everybody forgets about 2 guys go with the ball. You got to block this guy out. Taps it to himself and goes back up strong. You don't need to send 2 guys to stop the ball. 1 guy goes to stop the ball, and then you better find Jerome Williams with the other one.
Stackhouse almost lost it to Dickerson. To Hunter in the corner. At Bibby in the air. And another basket by the Pistons, which puts them up 99-89, a 10-point game. Bibby almost lost it. Long did, but a foul. And the Grizzlies continue to struggle in crunch time.
Well, Detroit being aggressive with their traps, trying to get out there and challenge the ball handler. And Michael Bibby has to maintain his poise and not rush plays.
Lindsey Hunter the foul. 10-point Piston lead. Let's recap our IBM Advanced Scout keys to the game.
Rod, we said Vancouver had to attack the rim. Now, even though the points in the paint are in favor of Vancouver and the offensive rebounds, Detroit did a better job. They got to the free throw line, and then you look at transition defense. Fast break points in favor of Detroit. Detroit did a real good job of getting out in the break. Vancouver didn't get back to handle that situation and handling perimeter pressure. 27 turnovers, one short of their season high for Vancouver, and 28 points for the Pistons. You're not going to win games turning the ball over like that, and we talked about doing it on your own. Michael Bibby and Abdur Rahim, 11 assists in the first half, and the team 17. Rod, they moved the ball, they shared the basketball. Second half, just 2 assists for those 2 guys, and 5 as a team for the Grizzlies.
Fella Harrington with a big elbow on Jerome Williams. Foul against Harrington.
See, Jerome Williams, much like Dennis Rodman, and I'm using that comparison because he's nobody I can think of that plays with as much heart going after the basketball. But Dennis Rodman used to stick his face right out there and challenge you to take a shot at him. And Jerome Williams is not afraid to do that either, Rod. He'll get in and take your space away and dare you to move it.
2 minutes to go. Hill off to Leitner. Up! A wide open shot, and so Vancouver will once again try to cut into this lead. Unbelievable pressure all game long. And Harrington and Jerome Williams.
And you see the frustration on the part of Harrington. Jerome Williams will do that. He'll get in your face. He'll drive you nuts. And he doesn't get riled. He's having a good time out here. He's just playing hard. You can throw the ball at him. He's not going to come back and fight you because he knows if you throw the ball at him, he got under your skin and he's going to win the game.
Grant Hill and Jerry Stackhouse, you know before the game that those two are going to hurt you. Give them their points. Try to keep it down as much as you can. But Jerome Williams has been the guy today that's done a job on the Grizzlies off the bench for Detroit. 12 points. But the 10 rebounds and just that hustle.
Well, half of those 10 rebounds have come on the offensive glass, which gives Jerry Stackhouse, Grant Hill, Lindsey Hunter more opportunities to shoot the basketball. And that's why it's so important to keep a player like that. And really, who else are you going to look at on the Detroit Pistons as the guy you got to block out? He's the man. He's the one that's going to the rim. You have to get a body on him. And if there's anybody out there, he's the guy you have to find.
So there you see the scoring today. And Vancouver, again, the Grizzlies had a 16-point lead. And we talked so much this season about the Toronto Raptors and what they've done in the much improved Raptors. Butch Carter nomination certainly as Coach of the Year. Vince Carter should get a vote certainly right now for MVP. And as good as the Raptors have been, the Grizzlies have also been looking to have their franchise best season. 19 wins was the best in 97 and 98. Now, you would have thought when the new year began that they might have approached even 25 or 30. The 19th win has been a long time coming. They have not won since February 26th. They were 12 and 14 to start the new year. And so this 11-game skid has kept them at 18. Don't forget, next Sunday on CTV, we have simulcast with NBC, Miami and Orlando, or Philadelphia and Indiana. And both of those games will have an impact on the Raptors' playoff chances and where they might finish before the postseason.
Right, as we heard Grant Hill talk about the Grizzlies earlier, it baffles him to think why this team doesn't do any better. Another nice trap by the Pistons. When you look at the personnel, I thought going into this season, this would be an outstanding year for Vancouver, where they finally have an opportunity to take their team to another level in terms of wins and losses, but it's just been a struggle. And as of late, the big struggle for Lionel Hollins is to keep this team together and play hard right through the end of the game.
So a three-pointer by Dickerson is going to make it interesting. 7-point game, but you have to find a way to stop Hill and Stackhouse.
And that's the danger of being in a close game when you have two tremendous offensive one-on-one weapons like Hill and like Stackhouse.
Leitner, as Hill cuts through. And Leitner this time throws the elbow at Harrington.
That's good defense there by a fellow Harrington. Something he didn't do in the first half against Christian Leitner. He committed, he left his feet this time, just getting right in front of him, staying between him and the basket. And Leitner getting a little frustrated, trying to clear some space with that elbow.
Leitner now with 4 personal fouls. A fella Harrington, by the way, is playing with 5, so one more and he's gone. The Pistons have had pressure on the Grizzlies from the outset. Dickerson knifes in, and he'll go to the line.
Rod, it's a small detail, but we saw a pass from Othella Harrington to Michael Dickerson on the wing, just outside the three-point line. That pass just a little bit outside of the shooting pocket. That prevents a catch-and-shoot opportunity, especially with the defender running at you. By putting that pass right on the numbers, now this worked out pretty good. Dickerson made a great catch and puts the ball on the floor and gets to the bucket to get 2 free throws. But you really want to be conscious of those passes to put it right where a shooter can catch and put it up quickly. Otherwise, you're ruining scoring opportunities.
1 minute and 11 seconds to go. Dickerson was perfect from the line. And here come the Pistons again. A 6-point game, 99-93. Grizzlies trying to end an 11-game losing drought. Hill wants it again. 31 for Grant Hill. Double team, triple teamed all game long. Stackhouse, no. But there is Jerome Williams.
And Christian Laettner keeping it alive, and that's all you have to do. Mention it over and over on the offensive glass. You don't have to get 2 hands on it. Just keep it alive and give you, your teammates, a chance to get their hands on it.
George Irvin wants them to kill some clock here. 30 seconds to go. 5 on the shot clock. Stackhouse spinning from the free throw line. Vancouver can't get the ball.
Dennis Scott, the veteran, said, hey, I know Jerome Williams is going to get this rebound. He took him right out, threw him on the floor.
Scott for 3. Big 3. 18 seconds left. It's a 3-point game.
And that's 2 big plays, Rod. Scott making the play, the defensive end, by taking Jerome Williams away from an offensive rebounding opportunity and then knocking in the big shot at the other end.
Well, now they put the Pistons on the line. Jerry Stackhouse, who has been 6 of 7. Here is Scott.
Now see that pass right in the hands of Dennis Scott. He catches, fakes, the defender's flying by, and using that little move to clear himself and shoot the shot.
Stackhouse, one of the Pistons' best free throw shooters. Lionel Hollins hoping the numbers don't prove that point. Jerome Williams with his 20th double-double of the season. Is he the 6th man of the year or what?
He's certainly in consideration with his play, especially on a team that doesn't have the dominant big man. A lot of folks might not remember Bison Daly, as we're going to look at Othella Harrington sitting on the bench with his 6th foul. Bison Daly was the big man in the middle for the Detroit Pistons at the start of the season. He was etched in there, but decided to go AWOL and walked away from basketball and said he does not want to play anymore.
Bison Daly would have made them a better basketball team, but you can't deny what they're doing now. Looking like they're going to move to 33 and 32, a 5-point game, 14.6 left. So the Grizzlies need a quick basket, and then they're going to have to put the Pistons back on the line or hope for a turnover. Let's go back to our studio in Toronto and join Sunil Joshi and Rick Barry.
101.96 with 14.5 seconds remaining in Vancouver. What do they got to do here?
Pray. They got big problems. You know, the reason that the Pistons are able to go ahead and win this game, you take a look, is because they did a little better job with the defense in the second half, like we talked about. Here we're going to see an example. Inside, you're going to see an opportunity where they're going to go for the steal inside, and that's going to be Mills. But watch Hunter defensively, what he does, because he's going to be really alert with court awareness. He's going to go to help, but also watch Christian Laettner from the weak side. Now, here goes the steal by Mills, doesn't get it. Hunter's there to stop him, and then Laettner's over there and gets the block, gets the rebound. However, the Pistons also had a little bit of a breakdown, and they do that occasionally with their defense. Here you see Sharif coming into the middle, but watch what happens with Mills. He goes out with Reeves instead of stepping in to help out. But then on the baseline, look at Stackhouse. He's an observer. He should be staying in the paint to help out. He's walking away from the play, and you get no opportunity to be able to go ahead and help defensively. This is what the game of professional basketball is all about, playing hard, tough defense.
At this point, the Grizzlies need 5 points to tie this game. There's 14.5 seconds to play. Let's go back to Vancouver. Rod and Leo.
Well, the Grizzlies have done a lot of praying, I imagine. During this 11-game skid, they've had chances to break out of this streak, but it doesn't look like it's going to come today.
Rod, if you want chances to break out of a streak, you just can't throw the ball away. 28 turnovers, 28 points for Detroit off those turnovers. Think about this. The Grizzlies have shot 51% in this game, 7 of 13 from 3. That's 60%. and out-rebounded the Detroit Pistons and scored more points in the paint. And you're losing the game because you've given away so many opportunities to score. 28 turnovers when you're shooting over 50%. You know how many wasted opportunities that is to score?
All right, 14.6 seconds to go here. And it's 101-96. Dennis Scott into Bibby. They need a quick basket right now. Dickerson. Back out to Sharif with 8 seconds left in the fourth. Got it, a three-pointer. A touchdown pass. That was a bad pass up court. The Grizzlies will have one more shot. They'll have to let it go. Dickerson. Oh. So the Detroit Pistons hang on. That was closer than it should have gotten in the final few seconds. I can't believe they threw that pass up court.
Yeah, not a good decision by Jerry Stackhouse to throw that long pass to Jerome Williams. And it's not a pass Jerome Williams should have tried to save and give the Grizzlies numbers at the other end.
101-99. Michael Dickerson had a chance with that. Had that gone in, it's a bit of a miracle toss, but they could have won the ball game. So it came down to maybe even a buzzer beater. But Detroit wins 101-99, and the Grizzlies have now lost 12 in a row. Let's join Norma Wick.
Thanks. I'm with Grant Hill. Grant, 54 points between you and Stackhouse. Scoring wasn't the problem today. It really came to who turned over the ball more than the other team.
Yeah, you know, we talked about it at halftime. We had too many turnovers in the first half, 12 turnovers, and we might have equaled that in the second half. But luckily, we got the execution that we needed to. 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and we had a few bonehead plays down the stretch where we managed to get the win.
Talk about the effort of Jerome Williams. He really changed the tempo when he came into the game in the second quarter, got 4 offensive rebounds, really seemed to get you guys going.
Yeah, and they call him a junkyard dog. He's got a lot of energy, and you know, for him to be effective, he's not the biggest power forward, but he has a lot of quickness, a lot of energy, and he's got to play high energy for us. And he's done that all season, and luckily he did it for us tonight. We were a little sluggish early on, but he came in. I thought Mikey Moore came in and did a good job for us.
Right, also retired an 11-game road losing streak. That's got to feel good.
Feels real good. You know, sometimes you lose your confidence when you continue to lose like that, but hopefully this can be a confidence booster. We start off our West Coast trip, and hopefully we can win some more games.
All right, best of luck on the rest of the trip.
All right, thank you.
Well, Grant Hill, 31 points, came down to the end, but 16-point lead for the Grizzlies early in the ball game, and they couldn't do it.
Everything they did early to get that lead, distribute the basketball, make the extra pass, get everybody involved, Rod. They didn't do later in the game. 28 turnovers. That's the story.
They didn't get a chance to blow out their candles today, but that's your 40th birthday tomorrow,
man,
partner. So
did you have to say the number?
Yep. My goodness. There you go.
It's not easy when you get this old.
Well, you blow out the candles. Grizzlies unfortunately blew it in the third quarter and fourth quarter here today. So they've lost a dozen in a row. They'll try to get back on the winning side on Tuesday against the Golden State Warriors. Next week we have simulcast Sunday with NBC. Sports Central coming up the dial. Mike Toth and Jamie Campbell tonight. All the stories and a wrap up from here in Vancouver. Stackhouse and Hill, 31 and 23 points respectively. Grizzlies had a chance, but the losing skid continues. For Norma Wick, Sunil Joshi, Rick Barry, and the birthday boy Leo Routens, this is Rod Black. Goodbye from Vancouver.